John chapter 9, another highlight. We're pursuing God's heart, just one highlight per chapter. And there's lots of highlights in John 9. It's a great story. But I just want to look at a couple of verses here. You've got the man who was born blind. Jesus has healed him. He is then, Jesus is kind of off the stage. He's out of the picture for quite a long chunk of this chapter. I think it's the longest sequence of verses in John's gospel where Jesus isn't involved. But we've got this man who was blind, he's been healed, and now he is stood before the authorities. And they're really, really upset. And so they say to him, verse 24, "We know that this man is a sinner." And the blind man responds, I should say formerly blind man, responds, "Whether he is a sinner, I do not know. One thing I do know, that though I was blind, now I see." They said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered them, "I have told you already, and you would not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples?" Just a little snapshot of the story, but two things that you see in those three verses. You've got the religious experts just nailing this guy to the wall, fingers in the chest, really brutal questioning. And yet he doesn't back down. Just think of the guy back in John 5 who was healed, and the moment he's challenged, he's trying to get Jesus in trouble. But this man here, he is there defending Jesus, even though he doesn't have the answers. They're coming at him with theology and, knowledge and PhDs or whatever. And he's like, "I don't know. What I do know is that I was blind and now I see." He just hits back with his testimony. This is often the passage we go to say, you know what, testimonies are powerful. And you may not have all the answers, and you may not know the Greek and the theology and the history and so on. But if you know Jesus, you have a testimony. And that's something you can use. It's powerful. You can use it just to say to people, look, I was this, but now I'm this. I don't know everything, can't even explain it. But what I do know is that Jesus has changed me and is continuing to change me. And so you've got the power of the testimony, but then you've got the confidence of the man as well. Well, I mean, it's hard to, I can't overstate how shocking this statement is. When they ask him a question, he's in court. He should be saying, "Yes, Your Honor," "No, Your Honor." He's really in a difficult situation. But instead he says, "Look, I've told you already. Why are you wanting to hear it again? I've covered this ground. Do you also want to become his disciples?" Now, that would have enraged them, but I love his boldness. And it's my prayer for me and for all of us that we would have that kind of encounter with Jesus, that we may not know everything theologically, we may not have all the answers for all the questions, but that we would have absolute confidence in Jesus, absolute confidence in what he's done in us, and a confidence that makes us willing to then put the challenge out to others, to bring others face to face with Jesus. And I can almost guarantee that the people that you and I meet will not be as antagonistic to Jesus as this crowd of Pharisees and religious leaders were. And so John 9, a great example of the power of testimony and how our confidence in Jesus should stir us to speak of him to others. Let's pray that it does. Let's pray for opportunities and pray that we will be so gripped by Jesus that we will speak of him like the man who was blind but now sees.